Let me preface this video by saying that I understand that a diagnosed chemical imbalance of depression is not a choice. I am not oblivious. I am completely aware. I can also understand that you can be depressed without a diagnosis. But what I'm talking about today is some of the things that I wish I had known were exacerbating my depression and making my depression worse. I'm going to share those things with you so that perhaps if you relate, you can stop doing those things or put in steps into place to help you live a better life, okay? So, hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Isabella Campione. We talk about everything burning and passionate on this channel. Everything mental health, everything growth, self-help, journey as a young adult, everything you can think of. This is the right channel for you if you're into that kind of stuff. I was evaluated and was diagnosed with depression and anxiety. So I do have personal experience and credibility to speak on this topic. Depression was something that I had had for a long time before I had finally gotten diagnosed with it. I spent so many days just laying in my bed feeling sorry for myself, and I'm making this video because I don't want that to happen to you. If any of this is relatable to you, I promise this video will help you. I also had a really bad self-harm problem. I don't really know as much how to say, like, how to help you stop self-harming if you're doing self-harming of any kind, because for me it was very strange. It was very sudden. I was put in a mental hospital for an extended period of time, and I had no access to anything. So when I came out, by that end of that period, I was used to not doing it, and it was kind of just like I had to make sure that I didn't see my scars because it would trigger me and want me to do it again. That doesn't mean that I never get the urge to do it. Even all these years later, sometimes I remember what it felt like and how good that felt. And there's just like that little tiny voice in the back of my head that said, let's just do it one more time. But I just have to fight it off, distract myself, do something else. So that is not really what this video is about. I might make a separate video on how to cope with self-harm. I just don't feel that I have enough advice to give you because my experience was so like cut and dry, it was done. So what I really want to talk about here is that so much of my depression was a choice in a way that if you're in like an absolute deep dark rut right now, I'm so sorry that you're going through this, and I really hope this video helps you. But this video is going to speak a little bit more to once you've kind of started a little bit on the journey. This advice will be a lot easier to take in and put into practice once you've kind of acknowledged the problem is here already, which if you click this video, you've obviously acknowledged that this is a problem and you want to get out of it. So here's my advice. The first thing I noticed is you have to get, as uncomfortable as it is, you have to have an accountability buddy, okay? For me, it was my mom, someone who will speak gently to you, honestly to you, but also in an encouraging way that will get you to get up and even just slightly believe that you might deserve to feel better and do better. My mom would very gently say to me, Bella, like, you're gonna eat, maybe if you take a nice hot shower, it'll be really relaxing. You'll clean your hair, you'll wash your body, and you'll get some peace and quiet, and the hot water will calm you down, and the steam will because I was congested a lot because I was crying all the time. The steam will help your congestion, and you'll feel so much better. You'll get some fresh clothes. Like someone that can make something you don't want to do sound like such a great experience. It really pushed me to start showering and taking care of myself again, because that little support and like gentleness. Sometimes when you're depressed, all you want is someone to, wow, it's been so long since I felt like this, but like just saying this, like it's crazy how quickly I'm transported back to that time in my life. You just want someone to be gentle with you. You want someone to understand. All of these things are a cry for help because you just can't stand yourself. You really can't. And you really think that the world would be better off without you. So when someone approaches you, instead of judging you or being hard on you or criticizing you and making fun of you, when they're gentle and make those coping mechanisms and the simplest self-care sound like a pleasurable, wonderful experience, it's a lot easier to engage in those things. So my mom did that for me a lot. She was really there for me. Both my parents were very much there for me. Yeah, so my mom would say, you'll feel so much better. Like, you'll just picture that you're washing away everything and all the pain and all the regret, all those things was what really helped me for sure. So I would say if you can build that little support system, not even a whole group of people, just one person that you can text and say, hey, I'm really struggling today. I really don't want to shower. I really don't want to brush my teeth. I don't want to eat. You're going to have to put a little bit of trust in that person to help you get through that tougher period and hold you accountable and maybe even hold your hand physically through all of it. So that would be my first piece of advice that I feel really, really helped me, was having that support system. Then I would say, I know how hard it can be and how uncomfortable it can be, but you have to get up. You have to. As if your life depends on it, which in some cases it really does. I know it's not simple. I know it's not easy. I was there for physically for years. I totally understand how hard it is, okay? You have to get up. You have to get up, walk around your room, walk down the hallway. You have to move. You cannot get stuck in your bed. It will literally feel like you are rotting into the mattress below you. And that is one of the worst things that will just make your pain and your suffering worse. Even if it feels like there is a pressing weight, a ton of weight on your chest, you have to do everything. Every last piece of willpower and strength that you have must go into getting yourself out of that bed. Get outside. Don't even walk, don't exercise. Sit on the ground, sit on the grass. Lay down if that's what you need to do. Sleep on the ground outside just to get the sun on your face, okay? I didn't realize how important movement and the natural sunlight would be to get me out of that depression, to get me out of that rut. But I promise you, you will feel worlds better just by having the sun on your face. It's really, really incredible what the sun will do for you. It's incredible. It's almost like a ray of hope laying out in the sun. Knowing that your body is still capable of getting up, standing up, kneeling, walking 5 feet will instantly make you feel better. I'm not saying it's going to fix everything, but I'm telling you, get up. You have to. You have to. Even again, if you need someone to pull you through that, open the curtains, okay, in your room, the blinds, whatever you have. Take the towels down from the windows, whatever you have blocking that sunlight. As much as you think staying in that cave is going to help you, it's not, okay? You have to let the sun in. Even open the window, perhaps. Get fresh air, okay? You need help from the outside world, from nature, okay? You can't avoid that. It's just a simple truth. You need that. That is a part of your recovery. At least in my experience, I've never felt better than when I do when I'm outside or with fresh air in a room, okay? That is an essential part of it. What you're eating absolutely can make your depression better or worse, okay? I understand that, especially in a deep time of depression, the last thing you want to do is whip up a chef-prepared meal of chicken and rice and veggies. I totally understand that. So what you need to do is make that process as easy for you as possible and the junk food as hard as possible for you to get, okay? Delete all the food delivery apps off your phone. Grubhub, DoorDash, Glovo, whatever you use, delete that, okay? Before you even delete the app, delete your account. So that if you re-download the app, you have to create a new account all over again. And put your credit cards and your debit cards, take them out of automatically filling the information in your phone. Put your wallet on the other side of your house so that you would have to physically get up, go through the whole account making process and the whole numbers filling process. And by the time you realize all the work you have to do, you're not going to order that crappy food that is making your system feel even worse, okay? You gotta just make it as hard for yourself as possible. Maybe even do a 2-factor authentication process when you try to download an app so that it goes to another device that's on the other side of the house. Like, just adding as many steps and obstacles in between you and the thing you know you should not be doing is the key to success. That's definitely something I've learned, especially as someone, I used to suffer pretty severely with a binge eating disorder. And that was something I had to learn with food. If I didn't have snacks in the house, I would not eat them, right? If I didn't have the unhealthy snacks, I couldn't eat them. If I stopped buying unnecessarily large portions of food because they were on sale, I would not eat the large portions. If I stopped putting all my food in such large plates and bowls, I would not eat as much. So that's just that little perspective there. Once you delete the delivery apps, now we've got to make a plan for, okay, I'm not going to order out or take out or whatever, because I know I can't trust myself. If that's a point you're at, then this part is definitely for you. Your grocery shopping matters, okay? Stop going. I'm telling you, skip the processed foods aisle completely. And I'm so sick and tired of people saying, oh, it's cheaper to get the microwave meals and instead of fresh organic produce. This is just not the case, okay? Frozen vegetables and frozen fruits and frozen meats have the same amount of nutrition as the organic fresh produce. Sure, yes, organic food is obviously better, and when you can buy it, you absolutely should. Listen to me when I say this, okay? Your food doesn't lose any nutrition value by being frozen. I don't know who came up with that, but that is just literally the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my life. Frozen food is significantly cheaper than microwavable meals and processed foods. Really, hold up a bag of like chips and then a big bag of like mixed greens, carrots, peas, green beans next to the chips and tell me that they're like, it's insane. The healthy frozen food is so much cheaper. Canned foods as well, if even the frozen foods are too much. Canned healthy vegetable soups. Although I don't really recommend canned products as much because a lot of sodium is added to them. It's just not good for you. Sodium is essential, but doing it too much, anything too much is not great. When you go to the grocery store, here is what I did. This is what worked best for me when I was depressed. I got minute rice, a fat box of white minute rice, and big bags of microwavable frozen vegetables, okay? So just big, those big white freezer bags. It's like peas and carrots, corn, whatever. And then salt or seasoning, which I'm sure you probably most likely have at home already, and then a protein. Frozen protein, if you don't want to do chicken breast because it's too much preparation, I don't blame you. Chicken nuggets, okay? But look for a healthier alternative of chicken nugget. You don't just want a lot of processed crap. Tofu is also great. Tofu does take a lot of preparation, I will be honest. If you have an air fryer or an oven, you could very easily just dump some soy sauce in there, throw it in the oven, and it works great. That worked for me. What you're putting in your body will absolutely affect your energy levels, your appearance, your skin, your weight. And a lot of times appearance and weight and energy absolutely contribute to how you feel while you're depressed. Stop buying sugary drinks. Stop drinking literally anything but water. There is nothing, I promise you, you don't need Sprite, you don't need Coca-Cola, you don't need Fanta soda, you don't need, even if you want to wean yourself off of soda a little bit easier, I would recommend flavored seltzers are a great alternative to soda. So you still get like that little bit of a fruity taste and that carbonation feel. But you should not be drinking anything but water. And if you're going to have juice, I really recommend that you do it at home. But that's a much later stage to be worrying about, okay? That's when you have energy and you're ready to go. That's a whole other ballpark. What you eat absolutely matters. So if you just have a basic meal of rice, a veggie, and a protein every day, it's shocking how different you will feel. I promise you. It's really insane. It will help you. Drinking only water will help you. 100%. Appearance-wise, drinking water helps you in every single aspect. Don't buy bottled water. That's a very expensive cost, right? At home, if that is something that you do need, like if you don't have a faucet at home that is not considered safe for drinking water, then absolutely I can understand the buying bottled water. Totally understand that. But if you are lucky enough to have filtered water that is safe to drink, use a metal water bottle that I'm sure you probably already have, or even a plastic water bottle that you keep refilling in the filter, and just drink water. It makes a world of a difference. I only drink water. Look at this skin. I know it's not perfect, but I used to have really, really bad acne, and what I was addicted to was energy drinks. I used to drink Celsius when I was really depressed. probably 2 a day because I was just had no energy. I promise you, energy drinks are not making your energy better. They're making your energy worse. You have less energy every time you drink one. So you don't want to get your energy from artificial sources. Energy drinks, coffees, sodas. That is all crap, okay? It's all chemicals. It's totally messing with your brain. If you look up some studies on that, it's really fascinating how it literally rots your brain and diminishes your ability to think clearly, your attention span. Please research that if you are an addict of energy drinks and coffee and things like that. If you don't want to wean off of the coffee taste, you can do decaf, more organic coffees. That I understand as well. If you still need a little bit of energy, maybe caffeinated teas, but I would be really careful what tea you're drinking because even if they're caffeinated, some herbs are known to relax. And if you're drinking a tea to go to work for a 12-hour shift, you don't want to drink like chamomile or lavender. Those are very relaxing. So just make sure you do your research for that part. Sugary stuff as well. The sugar in the energy drinks is not going to help you. Once I weaned myself off of energy drinks entirely, about like a year and a half later, a little more than that, I drank a Celsius. I don't know what that was. Sorry. I drank a Celsius for the first time in like a year and a half. And after not drank them for literally like a year and a half, like a long time. And I drank not even the whole thing, which 1 Celsius is 200 milligrams of caffeine. That is insane. I drank half of one. That night, I went to the hospital, the emergency room, because I was convinced I was having a heart attack from the effect I was having. My anxiety was through the roof. I had shooting pains up and down the left side of my left arm, which is one of the indicators of a heart attack. I freaked out. I went to the emergency room at like 3 a.m. with a close friend of mine, which, Dominion, thank you so much for that. And I was convinced that I was like gonna die. That's how extreme the effect was on me. So when you slowly wean something out of your diet, then you go back to it, you'll see the real effects that you have been blinded to over time that it has on your system and your mental health. I promise you, energy drinks are not worth it. You need to take the time to get back to a natural state of your body. Like your body should not be consuming those things, simply put. Okay, like taking melatonin. Anyone who I know who takes melatonin struggles with sleep more than I do. And I don't take anything to assist me with sleep whatsoever. Now, I cannot speak for diagnosed things, more serious things like insomnia. I can't speak on that. But I'm talking about if you regularly struggle with sleep as a part of your depression problem, there are ways that you can set up your nighttime routine that will absolutely help you in that area, okay? So I hear this quote all the time from one of my favorite creators, Mel Robbins, who says, if you want to sleep 8 hours, be in bed for 9 of them. If the problem for you is falling asleep at night, look at what's happening. Are you stuck on your phone like this all those hours while trying to fall asleep? Okay, let's rectify that. Is your bed comfortable? Is there a better blanket that you might have laying around the house that you could use instead? When is the last time you washed your sheets? Perhaps the smell is bothering you a little bit. Does the light bother you in your room? I sleep in complete, utter darkness, and I can actually show you. I already packed one of my most essential items away for when I leave Italy in 11 days. So the number one thing I sleep with always is a bonnet, okay? You can get these for $3 at Walmart, sometimes even less. And I also have a sleeping mask. So what I do is I twist my hair up real nice, throw it in the bonnet, and it just stays in there. And then I put a sleep mask over top, turn off all the lights, close curtains, and I don't use any kind of stimulation. When I was really depressed, I used to listen to commentary videos, podcasts, music, anything to avoid me being alone with my thoughts while trying to fall asleep, because that is the one time of day where we have no stimulation. And so the real thoughts come out, and all the dark things, even all the good things, come out sometimes. And you want to avoid that as much as possible as a depressed person, because that's when that real darkness can come out. And that's exactly what we're avoiding. Unfortunately, we do have to deal with those thoughts, okay? And I know it can be overwhelming at first, but treat it like a conversation between you and the version of you in your head. So if my brain thinks, oh, you looked so ugly today, say, okay, well, what makes you think that? Mind you, you're thinking this while you're laying in bed in a comfortable position, absolutely no stimulation, bonnet on, sleep mask on, silence, okay? And sometimes, if that's a little bit much for you, something that I really like to do is brown noise and white noise. White noise when it's really hard to fall asleep because of a lot of thoughts, or brown noise when it's a little bit easier. It's a much calmer alternative to white noise, as white noise can be a little bit much. But brown noise is really like a nice muffling sound where you can still understand your thoughts, but it absolutely soothes you. If you enjoy meditation music, I absolutely encourage that. I think that's a great alternative, but just not something that your brain has to process, okay? So, like I said, if you want 8 hours of sleep, you got to be in bed for 9. So let's lay down an hour earlier than we expect to fall asleep by and do this, okay? It might not work the first time for you. You got to give it a chance, okay? You got to give all this stuff a chance. You can't just try it once and completely give up on it, okay? I promise you, it takes a lot of time, but the time is going to pass anyway. So do you want to get better or do you not? Okay? That's the question you have to ask yourself while you're doing this, okay? I know it's not easy, and your brain is familiar with the same patterns that you feed it. Think of it this way. Your brain has neural pathways, okay? And if you keep making the same choice every day to go on your phone all night, instead of trying to fall asleep, that's what's familiar to your brain. And it's really easy for your brain to do that because it knows the outcome, it knows the process, it's familiar. But then you try to make that neuron go another way of, okay, let's try this no stimulation. It's like, whoa, we don't know the outcome here. What's going on here? I don't know what this whole situation is. Why are we doing this? And your brain's going to fight that by feeding you thoughts that convince you it's not worth it, it doesn't work, it's not a good idea. You got to fight through it. It's like a clear path with like no trees, and then a path with like a jungle and vines, and you got to fight your way through. You really do have to fight your brain sometimes, and that's the hardest part. Your brain will say the sweetest, most incredible, like reassuring things to get you to stay on that same pattern. Because that to your brain is life or death, but that's not the reality, okay? You have to push through the vines. You have to cut through the branches and get to that other side. Because on the other side is happiness, is peace, is gratitude, is success. And depression is a weight that just holds you down. And you have to fight it. Depression is not your friend. Okay, depression will present itself to you like it's your friend sometimes. And it's not. It wants you to stay comfortable. Depression doesn't want you to get better. Depression feeds off of your negativity and your hatred. And depression is the enemy, okay? I want you to understand that. Depression is not the romanticized thing that social media has made it to be, okay? It's not something that makes you unique or quirky or funny. No, okay? Depression is a problem. It's not a character trait. It's an illness. It is a mental illness. Okay, it's a medical problem. It's a problem that has solutions, but no one can apply those solutions to you. Absolutely, medication can help. I am medicated, but it took a long time for me to get there. Medication is not the first thing you should be jumping to. There are other things. I tried everything before getting medicated, okay? I put all these things I'm telling you into place before getting medicated, and I was a lot better. I was doing really well right before getting medication. Medication for me was just that slight jump, just that little bit of boost that I needed, okay? So that may not be the case for everyone. So don't let anyone pressure you into being medicated or not being medicated. That is a choice that you can make. The next thing that I wanted to talk about, and I know I'm getting very passionate here, but this is something I struggled with for so long, and I know this is probably going to end up being a longer video, but that's okay, because so many more people need to hear this, and so many people need to stop thinking that depression is quirky or funny or gives you personality. It's not, okay? You have permission to be happy, okay? You need to give yourself permission to get better and to be happy. For a long time, I kind of thought to myself, what will I be without the pain? What will I be without the depression? Who am I? Do I even know who I am outside of rotting in my bed all day and lashing out at people and being nasty and negative and mean and hurting myself? Who am I? Okay, we lose sight of that when we're depressed, but they're still there. There is a glowing light in your chest. That is who you truly are. That is in a cage that is made by depression, that is fighting to get out. You are a person without your pain. You are still you without your suffering and without your past, okay? You don't owe your past or that pain and suffering anything. Hear me when I say you are allowed to move on. You are allowed to get better. You are allowed to be happy, to view yourself in a positive light. You are allowed to be yourself and be happy and fight hard. It's okay to say depression makes you uncomfortable. Okay? Don't listen to the people on social media. Okay? It's okay to get better. You don't need to identify with a mental illness to be valid as a person, to have a personality. It's such a common misconception nowadays, and it's really infuriating for me. Because depression is a dark, endless, hopeless hole. But there is a way out of it. You just have to fight hard. Okay? But as a girl who, I still have depression to this day, I still have my rough days. Absolutely. I still have my diagnosis. My diagnosis is a part of me, but it does not define me, okay? And it doesn't define you either. Your depression, diagnosed or not, does not define you. You were someone before this, you are someone during this, and you will be someone stronger and better after this. Depression is hard, okay? I don't need to tell you that. You already know that, okay? You already know that. So the question is, how do we get out of it? Use these tools that I am telling you, okay? There is a way out of this. There are people that are way less capable than you that have gotten out of this. You deserve to live a happy life. It's that simple. And stop. I know your brain right now is saying, well, why do I deserve? No, you inherently deserve it. You do. You deserve to be happy. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's it. Your life was not put here to be made of suffering. So stop contributing to that cause. Do everything you can. Fight as hard as you can to get out of bed. Use a technique called the 5-second window. Think of something you want to do. In those 5 seconds, you have to get up and do it. I don't mean like get the activity done in the 5 seconds, but get up and start on that activity. Because then usually after 5 seconds is when your brain starts to convince you all the reasons why you shouldn't or cannot or wouldn't do it. Okay? Get up before those 5 seconds are over. And just fight. Because I am looking at you and telling you all of this as someone who has experienced it and has gotten through depression. Really bad fits of it for extensive periods of time. Things I really thought it's over from here. Like, I will never get out of this, ever. And that's just not the case. I don't care how incapable you think you are, how stupid you might think you are, how ugly, how cowardly you think you are. You can get out of this. You are strong enough. And I'm not just telling you this for no reason. I gain nothing from telling you this. But I know that you are seeing this video for a reason, and you know it too, because that little spark, that little light, that little ember that clicked on this video is fighting for you to get your life back. That is why you clicked on this video, because that spark is there and pushed your finger to click that button on this video. Because it knows and you know that you deserve to be happy. It's baby steps. It's baby steps. Little actions every day that make a difference. It wasn't the big things that I've done since being diagnosed with depression that got me through it. It was all the little things. It was every thought that I corrected and fought in my brain when it came up. Putting my phone on the other side of the room so that I wouldn't snooze my alarm and that I would actually get up. It was hanging out with my friends and going out even when I really didn't feel like it or felt like it was the last thing I wanted to do. Using the 5-second rule to take a shower. I just did that this morning, actually. I was like, I don't know, I'll shower later. But no, I did the 5-second window and I got up and I showered, and I'm so glad that I did. Take care of your space, okay? That's my final piece of advice. Your space is everything. Your space equals your home. How you take care of it, however small or big it is, will absolutely impact your mindset and how you feel about things. Like, a tidy space is a tidy mind. Even if you don't want to tackle, if you're looking at your room right now and there's food and bowls and cups and rotting whatever and clothes all over the floor and just so much you don't want to deal with, make your bed, okay? The smallest thing, just start by making your bed. And when that feels doable, you move to picking up one piece of clothing, dirty clothing, and putting it in the hamper from the floor. Stop looking at the whole staircase. Look at the one step in front of you that you can deal with right now. Don't worry about the whole project of all the things in your life that you have to get together and fix and all the things you have to apologize for. Look on the ground. That one sock, okay? That's what I want you to worry about. Pick up that one sock and put it in the hamper. Well, Bella, that was easier than I thought. I could probably do that again. Okay, pick up another sock. Pick up the shirt. Put them in the washer. Start small, okay? Your brain will overwhelm you with the complexity of your situation to discourage you from taking action, okay? Don't let it fool you. In a time of depression, your brain is not your friend. And you're going to have to fight for yourself and advocate for your mental health. Okay? I love my brain now. I love my little bestie, as annoying as she can be sometimes. You have to fight hard. It's really hard. And that's what I was nervous about titling this video, because I didn't want to come off like someone that was ignorant to the depths of depression and how horrible it can be. But I promise you I've been there. And there is a way out. Okay, I don't care what your opinion is of yourself. I don't care what anybody else's opinion is of you. You can get through this, okay? And I'm here for you. I am rooting you on. I am holding your hand and rooting you on, and I hope you get through this. Because you are a light to this world, whether you believe that statement or not. You are here for a reason. And it's about damn time you figure out what that is.